Why, if you or somebody in your life is living with everyday aches and pains, I want to tell you about Relief Factor. Relief Factor is a daily supplement that helps fight pain naturally. Naturally. Now that's a big deal. Developed by its doctors, Relief Factor's unique formula of ingredients all work together to help support your body's response to inflammation. Instead of masking pain for a couple of hours, Relief Factor actually helps reduce or even eliminate your pain for good. Whether it's neck, back, joint, or muscle pain, if you're looking to feel better, live better, give Relief Factor a try. In 3 weeks, you will know if it's working because you'll feel it. I was sent Relief Factor for me to try. I've been taking it every single day, and I do feel the difference. Go to ReliefFactor.com or call 1-800-4RELIEF. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF. Save on your first order. Don't let pain tell you how to live. Fight back naturally with Relief Factor. These products and statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or condition.
Ew, gotta get rid of this old Backstreet Boys t-shirt.
Tell me why.
Because it stinks, boys.
Tell me why.
I've washed it so many times, but the odor won't come out.
Tell me why.
No, you tell me why I can't get rid of this odor.
Have you tried Downy Rinse and Refresh? It doesn't just cover up odors, it helps remove them.
Wow, it worked, guys.
Yeah.
Downy Rinse and Refresh removes more odor in 1 wash than the leading value detergent in 3 washes. Find it wherever you buy laundry products.
O'Reilly. Check engine light on? Take the guesswork out of your check engine light with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free and provides a report with solutions based on over 650 million vehicle scans verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you need help, we can recommend a shop for you. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
From the Nashville Sports Radio Media Complex, this is the George Plaster Show. Call George now at 615-844-5600 and online at WNSR.com. And now, George Plaster.
Featuring Tennessee Sports Hall of Famer Watson Brown, Tennessee Sports Hall of Famer Kelly Holcomb, along with young gun Billy Derrick. And now, here's your host, George Plaster.
But, you know, it's kind of the way it goes. And see where we can go from there.
Okay. Tell me, are we close to going to Kelly?
Yes, we should be able to. We can go to Kelly right now. I apologize about the delay, George.
I think let's do that. Hello, Kelly Holcomb. How are you?
What's up, guys? How you doing?
What do you think Billy told him?
Who knows what Billy told him? I mean, he probably did that on purpose to mess Billy up his first day doing this. That's how Billy is, you know. He's kind of a shyster like that.
Wow.
I don't know about that. That one just might be on old new Billy, but I appreciate it. Kelly, you doing well? Good weekend?
I'm good, man. Good weekend. How about yourself, buddy?
Yeah, did all right. Got up to St. Louis, saw a ball game.
Ah, okay.
Oh,
Busch
okay.
Stadium.
Yes, sir.
Pretty nice,
Okay.
isn't it?
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
It's a beautiful ballpark. So they played, don't say anything because I saw Saturday's game. They played San Fran.
Yes, they did.
Yeah. And they won because it wasn't Nolan Gorman. It was the other one.
Burleson hit 2.
Burleson hit 2, one of which is still traveling.
Yeah, ball was flying out of the park. Wind was blowing out. Had 3 long bombs while we were there. So it was a good day of baseball.
It was nice and warm, wasn't it?
Oh, it was toasty.
What kind of tickets did we have?
We had first base side, although
Okay.
I wasn't experienced in the buying department.
Yeah.
So my poor girlfriend was stuck out there right in the sun, while the smarter people bought the seats towards the back in the shade.
You've got to have better game management than that. When I went to Atlanta 2 weeks ago on a Saturday afternoon, do you think I sat in the sun?
I doubt you did, George, but
hell no.
What can I say?
I was
Wiser
in the
than
shade.
Wiser than the young ones.
You have
George,
to know.
George, you're 70. Billy's not that old yet, okay? You've
First
got
of
wisdom
all,
along with
Kelly,
you.
I'm not 70. Okay.
You're knocking on the door, dog.
Well, that may be. That may be, but we're still a ways away from that, Kelly. And thank you for your encouragement. Now, to get the show started, Billy, too, as you know, we do an update. And our hope is that you have good meat on the bone.
I'd like to think so. I'd like to think it's got a little bite.
Okay.
It is brought to you, as always, by Lori Burnett Leland. You can find her online, mortgageladyyusa.com, or you can give her a call at 615-969-4350.
I'm sure she appreciates that. The update's off to a good start. Is there meat on the bone?
Yeah, we'll start out in Omaha, where decisive Game 3 is set to go tonight between the top-ranked Tennessee Volunteers and the third-ranked Texas A&M Aggies. This is game number 3. The Aggies took game 1, 9-5. Tennessee came back to win game 2, 4-1. Matchup on the mound tonight. Xander Sechrist, who we interviewed last week. You can find that interview on YouTube. There may be a portion of it coming up in the show later today. Tennessee seeking to become the first SEC team with 60 wins in a season. A&M was 1 game away from running the gauntlet and going 10 games undefeated to the national championship, but the loss yesterday snapped that 9-game NCAA tournament winning streak. They will throw fellow Southpaw tonight, Justin Lampkin, who is 3-2 on the season, 1-0 in the NCAA tournament with 3 appearances. He's pitched well pretty so far in Omaha. 2 games, just a 530 run average in Omaha.
That's
season
not
ERA
exactly
is 5.
Cy Young stuff.
No, but he's hung in there against Florida, put together 3 innings in a first game, and then 5 innings later. We'll see what he can go tonight. I think distance is the big thing tonight, no?
Kelly.
Yes, sir.
We are going to break with tradition and go ahead and give you a play.
Oh, okay. Got you.
Tennessee wins in a rout.
You really believe that?
Yep. Now I'm going to tell you why. A&M's out of pitching. They shot the proverbial wad yesterday. I got to be careful, don't I?
Hey, so the other day you was talking about pitching, man. Like the first 2 games, and I still think they got some bullets. They got that left-hander. I forget his name.
Are you talking about the short reliever?
Yes, boy, he's a good pitcher. And then the guy, of course, I don't know if they'll use him because they pitched him a lot yesterday. But is it Cortez?
Cortez pitched yesterday, did he not?
Yeah, he pitched yesterday, man. But I'm going to tell you this: if Cortez was able to stay in the game, I think Texas A&M wins that game, man. That guy if he can get his control down, because, they talked about it on the broadcast, like he goes from looking like a Cy Young winner to the next guy throwing 4 balls. It looks awful. And then like he's throwing 100, 101. I mean, he's got nasty stuff. If he can control that, that dude's really good.
Listen, Texas A&M is a very good baseball team.
Yeah.
I think they're one pitcher short, and I think that's going to show up tonight. Tennessee got you could feel the pressure starting to build in the 6th and 7th inning, and all of a sudden Dreiling went deep, and it was like they released the pressure.
Yeah.
And if Tennessee scores early tonight, if they jump ahead, they win in a rout. Take Tennessee minus the 1.5, and feel free to send me the money. And if it doesn't work, do not call me.
It's a smart man covering his losses right there. I think
no losses to be covered.
I think you hit the nail on the head, George. And, it felt like the Aggie team with all the injury problems they've had. We've talked at length about Montgomery being injured behind the plate. And then, you talk about some of the nagging injuries on that pitching staff. Is there kind of that semblance of, did we let one slip away when they lost that game yesterday? Do you have the mental strength to come back and win today? And the plot thickens a little bit. We'll talk a little bit about what went down in Austin today a little bit later in the update, but a lot of pressure on A&M tonight, and you wonder if that starts to creep into the minds.
Carry on. What else?
Bobrovsky missed morning skate on Sunday. That is, of course, the Florida netminder, Sergei Bobrovsky, but he was back in there today. There was, that was kind of there were a plethora of rumors yesterday surrounding would he be good to go Game 7 tonight. He will be. That, of course, decisive Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals. Florida raced to a 3-0 series lead, but Oilers have crawled back, and Connor McDavid's got a chance to really cement himself in hockey history if he can find a way to come back and win tonight.
Kelly, you ready for this?
That's your other play?
Game 7 goes to overtime.
Oh, what do you think you are, Nostradamus or something?
What if it does? Can you imagine the pressure of a Game 7 that doesn't get decided in regulation, and you go to the locker room for 15, 18 minutes? What must that be like?
Especially if you're the home team and you were up 3-0. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, that's I would like to see that. I think that'd be great. I still can't believe that they come back. That they lost 3 in a row, and now they've come back and won 3 in a row. So it's kind of amazing what's happened. And can Florida stop it? But if it goes to overtime, ooh, that's a lot of pressure right there, George.
Okay, remember you heard this. For Florida to win the game in regulation, they must score first. Let me tell you why. It's all that stuff you've just been throwing out there. They're about to gag, and everybody is on their butt saying you're about to choke a 3-0 lead. Nothing would solve the problem quicker than to jump out early, get that crowd behind them. But if it goes the other way, hello. By the way, with some different lighting, I look embalmed.
Well, you're closing in on 70, big dog. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You can shove it. Do we have other stories?
Yes, we do. We got plenty.
Good.
Texas baseball fired head coach David Pierce today. Pierce has been in charge for 8 seasons, won 3 Big 12 titles, took his team thrice to Omaha.
Thrice?
Yes, 3 times.
Why don't we just say 3 times?
Well,
Thrice.
I'd said 3 times before, and you want to mix it up.
Thrice sounds like something you'd say at the British Open. And now
Spicing it up,
thrice.
George.
Excuse me?
He's spicing it up, George. Let him alone.
Thrice.
I like it, Billy.
Well, he's had a solid tenure, but no more for Texas, who has gone to Omaha more than any other program and really couldn't resist the opportunity to try and upstage their rivals in the news on the day of a decisive Game 3 with a national championship on the line. There's been rumors about Schlossnagle. There's been rumors about Vitello. So both coaches in this game
about
tonight.
Tim Corbin.
Going to get real interesting.
I don't think Corbin's going there, but I think in his past came a very close rendezvous with Texas. I know that's a job that's always intrigued him, and until I hear that he's not going, there's just this little seed of doubt there. Just throwing it out there. Why would Tony Vitello go there? Have no idea. Tennessee can pony up.
You think the renovations at Vanderbilt matter at all in kind of Corbin's calculations as far as deciding to stay or go? Or
I have no idea. I really don't. I just think Texas has always been a job that's intrigued him. And I'll leave it at that.
Live golf event this weekend. Our very own Silas Bryant was in attendance, giving some fabulous open updates on Friday.
He did a very nice job. Kelly, you would have been proud of him.
Would he? Yeah, I looked at, I watched it a little bit, man. I'm going to be honest with you. We've talked a lot on this show. I'm not a live guy. When I cut it over there, I heard all the music. I heard these guys in shorts. They didn't have a lot of them look like me out there because I don't tuck in my shirt. I look like a clown sometimes. But when you're going to watch a professional event, I mean, let's have some professionalism about it. I don't know, man. It's just not for me.
Okay. Is it that or the fact that you think they're a bunch of traitors?
Both.
Okay.
Both.
Well,
it's still that. I mean, I still feel. I tried to cut it over there, and I tried to give it because I was trying to, I've played out there, so I was trying to figure out which holes they were on. But, it's all the music. It's all the, I don't know. And then I just don't know how I feel about professional golfers. Of course, we've been, over the years, they've always worn slacks. I don't know. It just doesn't look professional to me. It looks like a bunch of guys going out there. You look at Dustin Johnson, and he looks like he's not even in it. I don't know. I don't know. It's just not for me right now.
Okay.
Well, it broke a Live Golf attendance record with 40,000 people over the weekend. The 2 weekend sessions, Saturday and Sunday, both saw 14,000, which was the capacity crowd at the Grove. So people showed out in droves for it.
That's awesome.
Like Silas was saying, people pretty hungry for golf around here. There's not a lot of big-time golf that comes this way. So
if they'll come to Harpeth Hills, I'll show them some big-time golf. It won't be me. There'll be somebody there. Do you have one more story?
Yes. I thought this was interesting. So obviously the NFL implementing its new kickoff rules. Justin Reed, who served as the emergency kickoff specialist for the Chiefs, he, of course, normally plays safety. The Chiefs announced this week that he will be their kicker this year in terms of kickoffs. Place kicking still going to be Harrison Butker, but they're going to be using Justin Reed, who normally plays safety, as a kickoff specialist because in the UFL this year with the amended kickoff rules, kickers have been involved in almost a fifth of the tackles. So a little bit of a change there to put someone athletic who knows how to track down ball carriers there instead of, throwing Harrison Butker out there to do kickoffs. Obviously, touchbacks, too, aren't as valuable as they normally are.
So I'm told that they are limiting the number of commencement speeches he can make. Thank you. I was waiting to use that one. Okay, shall we go to the break then?
Yes, we shall.
We are off to a rip-roaring start. Watson Brown, the daddy of this show.
Huh.
Yeah. He's going to join us. We'll talk a little college football. 5 o'clock, my buddy Skip Nipper, who I consider the ultimate Nashville baseball historian, will join us. He was at Rickwood Field, worked it for 3 days. We're going to talk to him about that. And then we'll get a little knee-deep, about 40 minutes from the opening pitch, into Tennessee's efforts to win their first ever baseball national title. So stay tuned. We got a lot coming as you listen to the George Plaster Show on 95.9 FM.
It was the most horrible experience that any mother could ever go through. I knew that I needed to get help. My friend, she immediately said, "You need to call Bart Durham." And you guys were there within an hour. You guys are like family for us.
Yeah, sure is nice to connect with the people that you're doing your best to help.
Nashville, get ready for the greatest show on turf. Electrifying, high-octane, non-stop spring football action. Starting at only $30. Don't miss the season opener this April 27th at Municipal Auditorium.
Hi, I'm Jeff Fisher. The Nashville Cats are bringing arena football back to Nashville.
Grab your tickets now at thenashvillecats.com and be part of the action.
Year number 2 of the Plaster and Friends Celebrity Bowling Night was awesome. And the reason is really simple. I chose Strike and Spare, and they were amazing. They have great food, great bowling, and a staff that is truly ready to go the extra mile to help you. They have 5 family fun centers in the area to choose from. And for more info, go to strikeandspare.com or call them at 615-824-5688.
Venture Express has been helping people in this area for more than 40 years. They're headquartered in Murfreesboro with over 30 years of dedicated fleets involving production, manufacturing, and corrugated experiences. They're an asset-based company with over 700 tractors, 4,000 trailers, and 800 drivers. If you need their help, dial them up 615-793-9500 or log on to ventureexpress.com.
As the trusted premier custom home builder in Middle Tennessee, Donnelly Timmons has over 20 years of experience in the industry. Whether you're looking to build your dream home or renovate your current home, their team will ensure that every client and every remodel is unique, luxurious, and completed on time within budget. Founders Dustin Timmons and Joey Donnelly have over 25 years of construction experience in the Nashville area. Together, they have completed projects in Forest Hills, Oak Hill, Green Hills, Franklin, and Brentwood. Dustin and Joey believe that communication is the most important aspect of all construction projects. Therefore, they personally manage each project themselves and are involved in job site activities on a daily basis. Their commitment to quality and integrity has earned them an outstanding reputation among their clients. Contact them to set an appointment for a free consultation or to view some of their completed projects. Give them a call at 615-456-7983 or log on to DonnellyTimmons.com.
And businesses in Tennessee achieve their goals. As your full-service community bank, we are proud to offer loans with competitive rates, local decision-making, and fast, friendly service from our experienced lenders. No matter where you are on your financial journey, Wilson Bank & Trust is ready to help you take the next step. Visit your nearest Wilson Bank & Trust office or online at wilsonbank.com to get started today. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
We are back. Here's a little stat that might be sobering. We are less than 9 weeks from the start of the 2024 college football season. How about that? Less than 9 weeks. First games are August the 24th. One of those involves Georgia Tech and I think Florida State in Dublin, Ireland. Anyway, enough of that. We go to Cookeville and we say hello to the daddy of the show who helped birth it. Kelly, that would be Coach Watson Brown. Watson, how are you?
Well, at least I got called daddy. I wasn't great grandpa or something. So I've come up a little bit in the world.
Kelly earlier today said that I'm 70.
You're 70?
That's what he said.
He's close. I'm just saying he's close.
It's close. Yeah, he is close. He can see it now, Kelly. I can tell you that. He can see it.
Reach for the stars. Well,
and 70 has passed me by. So I have to look back at 70 this way.
You still doing well for your age there, brother.
Well, you're a good man. I thank you very much, Kelly. I need a little bit of patting on the back every once in a while when I come on with George. So thank you for doing that.
George, not so much, but you're doing well.
How's our son? Is he happy?
He's doing good. He's doing good. Yeah, he's
doing good.
He's
enjoying it.
He's been home. Yeah, he is enjoying it. He's been home every weekend, which it only takes about 2 hours. You know, you couldn't come home from Troy, so
yep.
I think he's
exactly
digging that
right.
a little bit. Yeah, I think he's digging that a little bit. So and the town of
fantastic.
Murray has certainly changed since I played there. So it's a lot different. It's gotten bigger. There's a lot more things to do. So it's pretty cool.
And initially, when you said that, I thought you were talking about Tony Basilio.
Oh, no.
Stop, George.
Telling you what I thought.
I know. So, Watson, with this date in mind, we're 9 weeks away. We got all these rumors of future expansion, and we've got HBCUs suing because they don't feel like they've got a seat at the table. What do you think is the next big domino that's about to shake?
I think there'll be additions in the Big Ten and the SEC, and I think the ACC will split. And now, does it combine with something else? I don't know. But I do think there will be additions from the ACC to the Big Ten and to the SEC. I think it's coming. I don't know if it's this year, but it's not far away.
So if that were to happen, you've got a crippled ACC. Is this where Memphis, pounces and says, God, somebody take us?
Maybe. With the ACC already taking SMU, it would open doors like that to me. That showed where they might be headed. George, I don't know what the next step is. And the other one I'm watching are the Group of Fives. With this last NC2A ruling and money and payback and all of this kind of stuff, I'm telling you, everything keeps leading to the Group of Fives further and further away from the Power Fives and Power Four. Yes. Now, so I mean, the next one to watch is the Group of Fives. What are they going to do? Are they going to try to come up with their own championship, get a TV package? Of course, it won't even be close to the Power Five packages, but at the same time, it'd be more money than they got. So I don't know. That would be the second thing I'd watch is the Group of Fives. Not tomorrow, but just keep an eye on them here in the next few years.
Okay, let me try it this way. Why is it I don't ever hear any reports of a secret Group of Five weekend where the 8 to 10 best leaders who represent Group of Five schools get in a room and start talking? They look like they're just saying, here we are, we're your roadkill, come and get us.
I think they're still trying to get themselves into the Power Five. That's what I think's going on right now. I think the higher Group of Fives, Memphis of the world, are trying their best to not think Group of Five, but how can I get in the Power Five? How can I get in this mix? Now, at the point when they realize they can't is when I think the Group of Fives will start talking. But till that point, George, those 8 you're talking about, whatever many there are, they're behind the scenes working the phones, as we used to say, big time.
As you remember, I once put you in that meeting as a UAB football coach, later, an athletic director. I felt like you ought to have a seat at that table, but there apparently is no table. So being serious for a second, do you think their strategy is a mistake? This whole hear no evil, see no evil, we're going to find our way in.
You talking about the Group of Fives?
Yeah.
No, I don't think it's a mistake. If I'm Memphis, if I'm SMU that got the bump, got the break, if I'm one of those, I'm hunting, man. I know that no matter what goes down, there's going to be a major difference in the Group of Fives and the whatever conferences are left in the Power. on the power side. And if I'm not in that, I'm going to have a step back. I mean, more than they got right now. And so I'm doing what they're doing. I would not be trying to put something together just yet. No, I wouldn't.
Okay, let me try it this way, because both you and I know a lot about the University of Memphis, formerly Memphis State. You played against them. I broadcast them. Kelly, were you aware of that?
Yeah, I was very much aware of that. You tell us every week, George.
I just thought I wanted to make sure you knew that.
I mean, let it go.
Watson, I get the SMU thing. They just bought their way in. They got all their little J.R. Ewings together, and they all ponied up.
They got them.
And
There's a bunch of them.
Yeah, but Memphis hadn't got that kind of money. You take
I know.
Fred Smith out of the equation at the University of Memphis, they haven't got squat. Their money looks like my checking account.
No, being in,
and that's bad.
Well, and you also know what you were paid when you were in Memphis, so you know.
Yeah, that's right.
But
inside joke.
It's inside joke. But being in the Southwest Conference with SMU, I mean, I knew that the dollars are all around that place. They're all around that program, and it was dollars to buy people with back when I was in the Southwest Conference with them. But they've got the money. You're right. Memphis doesn't, but FedEx is pretty strong, and I would be doing everything I can to get FedEx to really jump in with me and try to find a way to get in. I would. That's the one I'd be on that phone with in that office every day. And how much can you give me? How far can you go with this? This is our chance, but I can't do it without you. That's what I'd be doing if I'm the AD and the president at Memphis.
So, Watson, several weeks ago, the networks started releasing early season games. And there was a lot of excitement. It's kind of like the new toy at Christmas, where all of a sudden you've got Oregon going to, I don't know, Michigan, and you've got, Texas playing Alabama, and you got this new toy with these new matchups. And it all sounds great at the moment. But I got a feeling that by the end of the season, you're going to hear some grumblings going, what are we doing? We're flying halfway to hell for these games, and we're wasting a ton of money. The concept of the student athletes class time that doesn't even seem to figure in it. Do you think by the end of the season that you hear some coaches saying, wait a minute, this ain't all it's signed up to be?
I think you'll hear it after about 2 or 3 weeks. I mean, those long trips from the West Coast to the Big Ten and the Big Ten to the West Coast, George, I just can't see it. And football is one thing, but how about the sports, basketball, baseball, soccer? I just don't see it. I don't understand it that far. But again, you're talking to the wrong guy. I'm an old timer, just like you, and I'm a regional guy. I love the Southeastern Conference, the old Southwest Conference, the Big Ten. Being in that area and playing people that you see every day of your life, and so it's hard for me to understand how you can have this great rivalry when you're going that far. And I get it. Notre Dame and Southern Cal have had it for a long time, but that's one big one. I can't see Northwestern and whoever, UCLA, being, a great rivalry and where it'll just grow in that, since they're so far apart. I just can't see it. So this bothers me. I didn't like it when it happened. I can't see how it's going to go over real well, but we'll see. Again, I'm prejudiced. I'm an old timer and love the region as a main part of this. I grew up watching Tennessee Tech and Middle Tennessee hate one another and play on Thanksgiving afternoon, and how important that was. And when you start losing those region rivalries like that, it scares me. It bothers me.
Watson, can you hang during the break so that your stepson, Kelly, can ask some questions?
Oh, I'd love to talk to Kelly. Absolutely.
George, when I see you again, you keep talking like that, I'm going to choke you.
Stepson.
What, you
can you reach him, Kelly? You got long arms.
But when I see him, I'm going to choke him if he keeps talking like that. He's showing out in front of you right now, Watson.
Normally, Kelly, when he talks to you like that, you won't see him for a month. He'll make sure you forgot it before you see him again.
You two are so full of it. Let's go to the break. Kelly Holcomb will talk to his stepdad, Watson Brown, after the break. You're listening to 95.9 FM, and last I checked, this is the George Plaster Show. As you might be able to tell, my buddy Stan Harrison, he's an Alabama Crimson Tide fan, but he's actually here to talk about Apple Collision Centers.
Hello, Middle Tennessee. I'm Stan Harrison, CEO of Apple Collision Centers, and we understand the stress it causes in having an automobile accident. We can help you ease the stress of the auto body repair process at our 3 locations. We're conveniently located in Old Hickory, Hendersonville, and Gallatin. We've got rental cars available, we have PDR technicians available, and we have windshield technicians available. Please stop by one of our places and see us if you need our services.
And by the way, when you come in his office, this just in, he's a sports fan.
You were in a crash.
Yeah.
Your kids were in the car with you.
We're very lucky to even be telling this story to you. Nikki treated us like family, and she was very caring and loving, and I'm just so grateful for that. She was somebody I could trust, and being a veteran, that's so important to me. My kids are going to have a better life now because I don't have to worry about those expenses that we were out. Your family has really created a legacy of trust, and I would recommend you to anyone.
Nashville Sounds Baseball is back in Hit City for the 2024 season. Spend your nights and weekends at the ballpark with weekly giveaways, fireworks shows, throwback deals, live music, and more. Top talent will take the field at First Horizon Park against the AAA Minnesota Twins, Baltimore Orioles, Atlanta Braves, St. Louis Cardinals, Cincinnati Reds, and more. Tickets start at just $10 and are available now at NashvilleSounds.com. We will see you in Hit City.
For over 35 years, Wilson Bank & Trust has been committed to providing customized banking solutions to help individuals, families, and businesses in Tennessee achieve their goals. As your full-service community bank, we are proud to offer loans with competitive rates, local decision-making, and fast, friendly service from our experienced lenders. No matter where you are on your financial journey, Wilson Bank & Trust is ready to help you take the next step. Visit your nearest Wilson Bank & Trust office or online at wilsonbank.com to get started today. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Over the years, more men have started to seek help for hormone deficiencies and imbalances, and Dr. Jeffrey Lodge and wife Daphne, along with their experienced staff, give men the treatment required to improve their quality of life, improve your immune system, energy level, cognitive function, and more. There's no better time to achieve a healthy lifestyle. What are you waiting for? Give Cool Springs MD a call today for an appointment at 615-486-3458 or visit the website coolspringsmd.com.
Golf.com. That's LIVgolf.com.
Okay, we are back on this Monday afternoon. Got a lot of things to get into before the show is over. From Cookeville, Tennessee, we're joined by former Vandy football coach Watson Brown. Great to always have him on anytime. Kelly, the floor is yours. Fire away.
Coach, so the other day we had a guy on that talked about, maybe just because football is the catalyst for all this. We know that. Football is catalyst. And I'm upset because, I grew up watching the Pac-12. Now, it wasn't, everyday TV, but, I grew up watching the Arizona States and the College World Series. I grew up watching USC and football and, all that stuff. So it bothers me that the Pac-12 is gone, but do you think cooler heads may prevail at some point in this thing and say, hey, football is kind of the catalyst for all this. Why don't we just have football, go to the Big Ten, and then we stay out here and do what we do? I just don't see – like you talked about, like when you're playing volleyball at USC and you got to go to Rutgers, like it's not about the kids anymore. It's about making money, and I just don't see how that's a system that can succeed.
Yeah, Kelly, I would not be surprised if it gets to that and just turn it into a football conference. But there is so much money that can be passed on to baseball and to soccer and will be passed on. And so their living's going to come from football. So, they're not going to speak up a whole lot through that. They know they can't. And so it may take a while to get to that, but I wouldn't doubt that it gets to that at some point. But where do you go? I mean, do you go back to your old conference and just let the Pac-12 teams play each other and call it something else in all the other sports? I can't see it ever happening to basketball. I think basketball is going to always be paired with football. But everything else, I could see that happening. But Kelly, with the amount of money they're all going to be making and the amount of money that's being passed down to all these sports, I think it's going to take a few years before it gets to that.
So I think we're at a time where it's uncharted. We're in uncharted territory, uncharted waters right now, because nobody really knows. And you talked about it, and somebody was on here the other day talking about, I think the ACC is the next conference. It's amazing that the Big 12 has kind of overwhelmed the ACC with all the basketball and all that, but like the ACC has not done a good job. So I think the ACC is probably the next conference. But at some point, Coach, do you think the NCAA, like the SEC and the Big Ten are going to get tired of the NCAA, and they're just going to say, we're the ones bringing in the money. We're going to do our own thing. And then the NCAA has to go back to the Group of Five, the FCS, all the other schools. Can you see that scenario happening ever?
I personally have said that about football for the last couple of years. In the early years with George, we used to talk that all the time, that I just think before it's over, football's going to pull out. And it could just be football, and then the NC2A has everything else, and football's the second NFL. I still think that's a possibility as time goes on. I think it's leading to NFL models right now. They keep growing two conferences. And, yeah, the Big 12 is hanging on, but are they? I mean, they just lost Texas and Oklahoma now. And right. You can't tell me that that's going to be as powerful of an image as they go into this year with Oklahoma and Texas gone. I was basically in that conference, being in the old Southwest Conference, and I also coached at Oklahoma in that conference. And I'm telling you, that conference was run, Kelly, totally by Oklahoma and Texas. Totally run. And they're gone. So I'm not sure that's as strong, even though it looks okay right now. But I don't know how it's going to hold on. And I just believe they're headed toward something in a 50-40 team, like the NFL has 32 right now. I think maybe it's going to head toward a 40 in two conferences and a championship come out of it at the end of the year, just like the NFL. Everything is slowly headed toward the NFL right now, and I just think that's another way. I think it could end up that way.
So talking about that, do you think this system is sustainable with the NIL and the transfer portal stuff? I mean, I get it. I totally understand it. But, like, I've always said the kids needed something. I played with guys that didn't have anything coming to college, and it was great that they had a scholarship. And I've always thought that guys need something. But when you start paying guys millions and millions of dollars and you start going back to the same boosters every year, and maybe this kid's not playing good, or maybe, they're tired of giving. Is the system sustainable with the way they're doing it right now?
I don't know. I know. I don't know the personal donors, but I've had so many big donors in places I've been that are so powerful and so rich and so involved. And it's a fine line on how far you let them get involved. But, man, it's kind of hard to stop them. I mean, I've been an AD, I've been a coach sitting there with that over and over my whole career. I dealt with that. And I don't know. I just can't. Here's Arch Manning, one of the top 5 paid NIL guys last year, and he didn't play it down. How long is the guy making those payments going to do that? Now, with that name and that image, and we'll wait for him, okay. But can a guy that doesn't have the name Arch Manning, can that keep going like that? And it's just another way a donor can get mad at you, Kelly. I've had them mad at me plenty times. And, you know, you're paying this guy $1.5 million. He's not playing. Maybe he's not being used like the donor thinks he needs to be used. And all those calls start coming in. And there was one school I won't mention that I was told behind the scenes that donors pulled out in the middle of the season. Coach got fired. Donors pulled out in the middle of the season. Players didn't get paid last year. And I can't say because it's inside information, but this has already happened once. And I don't know how it's not on the street more than it is. And, the next thing they got to do, Kelly, in my opinion, is copy the NFL and have a cap system and everybody can deal with, you can't have more than $15 million or $12 million, whatever it is. They can do that. But the piece you just talked about is the piece that the NFL don't deal with. These owners have their own money. And they're making so much money. But that's not the case with these colleges. They have to go get this outside money. And any time I've ever dealt with outside money, you're playing with a 50-50 deal, man. You never know when it might blow up.
So at some point, you know, we're talking about outside donors here, but at some point, do you think the schools are going to have to step in and start paying for this stuff?
I think that's coming. I don't know if it'd be all of it, but I think they will start. At some point, that's going to be part of this. Okay, you get $12 million, you get $16 million. The universities, you can pay up to $8 million of it. I just see it slowly. The schools are going to have to get involved, and they're getting paid so much money, Kelly, these schools. So maybe they start backing off and paying these coaches $12 million, and some of that's going to start going toward some of the players. There's so much that could change in the next 5 years because it's been exactly like back when I was on with George all the time. And gosh, George, how many times we talk about it? It's Wild Wild West. It still is.
It is.
It absolutely still is the Wild Wild West, and it kind of changes every day. I saw the top 25 athletes by making money through the NIL. One of them, I think, was 25th, 24th, was a high school kid. It was a high school kid that wasn't even in college yet. So I'm telling you, this thing is still wild.
So
that part, by the way, is sick.
Yeah, it is sick. But my last question is, I've just thought about this. Like, you know, we had a legend, step aside and get away from it. And I know that, you know, everybody other than Alabama Crimson Tide fans they're elated about Nick Saban retiring, stepping down. How much in the coaching profession do you think he'll be missed?
Oh, big time. Big time. I think that's a fall off year, and I think the guy's a great coach. But you follow a legend, and you're going in your first year with everything brand new. I just think there's going to be a fall off, and a fall off in Alabama might be Kelly 10-2 or 9-3 or something. You know, I know it's not going to be a major fall off. I was in the state when Alabama was 6-5s and 7-4s, and that didn't go over well. That did not go over well. So I think he's going to be sorely missed, and I think they hired a really good football coach. But it's just going to take him time, and what a great time for Tennessee. What a great time for Georgia to take it over. Just absolutely become Alabama. They're slowly doing that anyway. But so I think that's going to show Kelly as the season goes on just how much he's going to be missed.
Hey, Watson, last thing on our end. Oklahoma rushed to get Brent Venables in a 6-year deal. And I'm like, he hadn't earned that.
Really surprised me. Not that he's not good enough to get that, but I was surprised at the quickness of that, George. I don't know. That was interesting to me. And I still have buddies out there that are older now that may not be as involved, but I can't wait to talk to some of them and see what they thought about that.
So everything, because Texas was good enough a year ago to go to Tuscaloosa and beat Alabama, it's all Texas, 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 and we don't hear as much about Oklahoma. In your mind, how ready is that program to compete at the upper levels of the SEC?
Oh, they could. Either one of them could win it this year. I'm not saying they will. They're good. Those two programs are SEC. They match the every piece. But the difference for Texas and Oklahoma, in my opinion, after being in the league and coaching at Oklahoma, is going to be competition week in and week out. That when I was at Oklahoma, it wasn't that. And now it's going to be. And I think that's going to be a transition period for them because you could have a big one and then you might not have another big one for 3 weeks. And you just don't get many breaks anymore in the SEC. 1, maybe 2 at the most out of your 8 games at the most. I don't even know if they have that many. And I think that's going to be the toughest thing. But I wouldn't be surprised if one of them came through it and still was right there with Georgia, Tennessee this year.
Watson, I think
Georgia, I wouldn't be surprised.
I think you've hit the nail on the head of it's going to be about scheduling. There are going to be some teams in unfair scheduling where all of a sudden they have 3 Godzilla games in a row. And history shows that those Godzillas in the 3rd week don't play as well.
George, I always said, you've heard me 1,000 million times say, it ain't playing Alabama. It's playing Alabama, then Georgia, then Ole Miss, then Tennessee, then Florida. That's the big deal in the SEC, and they'll feel that. But that's why I think the SEC worked so hard at getting this playoff system up to 12, so they could get in maybe somebody all the way up with 3 losses.
Yeah.
Maybe somebody all the way up with 3 losses. And when I say that now, people say, oh, that ain't going to happen. Okay.
Yes, it is.
Mark it down, baby. Because there may be one even this year in the first go-around.
Watson, you are a smart man, and I appreciate your taking the time to come on with us. In lieu of a good gift, you're a smart man.
It's always an honor. I love both of you. And it was fun, George. We started this thing how many years ago now?
I was young and thin.
How many has it been? How many years has it been?
5 or 6.
Is it 5, 6?
Yeah.
5 or 6
Something
years.
like that, yeah.
I know I watched 70 pass me by through that time. So
George is taking on its
look back at
heels.
70 now.
Oh, shut up, Kelly. I'm tired of hearing this. Hey, Coach, thanks as always.
All right, guys. Love it. See you.
See you, brother.
Watson Brown joining us from Cookeville, Tennessee. Kelly, guess what is next?
Stat of the day.
Stat of the day. Not always a positive on this show.
No, and I'm sure they've got a humdinger for us today. It always is, like one that's
ridiculous.
You just can't answer. Yeah, it's just you just can't answer them.
Okay, we'll find out when we come back. You're listening to the George Plaster Show on 95.9 FM.
If you're having plumbing issues, there's only one guy to call. That's Adam Whitehead. As a third-generation plumber, Adam was born and raised right here in Bellevue. Customers praise his professionalism, efficiency, and personability. Adam is known for his prompt response to emergencies and for providing high-quality repairs at reasonable prices. His expertise extends to various plumbing issues, including sink leaks, dishwasher installations, and outdoor water issues. Call him at 615-485-1534. That's 615-485-1534.
You were in a crash.
Yeah.
Your kids were in the car with you.
We're very lucky to even be telling this story to you. Nikki treated us like family.
And she was very caring and loving, and I'm just so grateful for that. She was somebody I could trust, and being a veteran, that's so important to me. My kids are going to have a better life now because I don't have to worry about those expenses that we were out. Your family has really created a legacy of trust, and I would recommend you to anyone.
For over 35 years, Wilson Bank & Trust has been committed to providing customized banking solutions to help individuals, families, and businesses in Tennessee achieve their goals. As your full-service community bank, we are proud to offer loans with competitive rates, local decision-making, and fast, friendly service from our experienced lenders. No matter where you are on your financial journey, Wilson Bank & Trust is ready to help you take the next step. Visit your nearest Wilson Bank & Trust office or online at wilsonbank.com to get started today. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
With 13 locations nationally, including Smyrna, Star Leasing Company is a semi-trailer one-stop shop and the perfect place to build a career as a semi-trailer mechanic. Seeking candidates with all levels of experience, Star Leasing Company has a semi-trailer technician trainee program with sign-on and quarterly bonuses and other opportunities such as $1,000 for having a yearly physical. Package also includes 401k with company match, health, dental, and vision insurance, competitive pay with weekly paychecks and paid holidays and time off. Star Leasing Company, not your typical semi-trailer leasing company. Visit starleasing.com to learn more.
Venture Express has been helping people in this area for more than 40 years. They're headquartered in Murfreesboro with over 30 years of dedicated fleets involving production, manufacturing, and corrugated experiences. They're an asset-based company with over 700 tractors, 4,000 trailers, and 800 drivers. If you need their help, dial them up 615-793-9500 or log on to ventureexpress.com.
As the trusted premier custom home builder in Middle Tennessee, Donnelly Timmons has over 20 years of experience in the industry. Whether you're looking to build your dream home or renovate your current home, their team will ensure that every client and every remodel is unique, luxurious, and completed on time within budget. Founders Dustin Timmons and Joey Donnelly have over 25 years of construction experience in the Nashville area. Together, they have completed projects in Forest Hills, Oak Hill, Green Hills, Franklin, and Brentwood. Dustin and Joey believe that communication is the most important aspect of all construction projects. Therefore, they personally manage each project themselves and are involved in job site activities on a daily basis. Their commitment to quality and integrity has earned them an outstanding reputation among their clients. Contact them to set an appointment for a free consultation or to view some of their completed projects. Give them a call at 615-456-7983 or log on to DonnellyTimmons.com.
Time for Stat of the Day, brought to you by Adam Whitehead. If you're having plumbing issues, there's only one guy to call. That's Adam Whitehead. As a third-generation plumber, Adam was born and raised in Bellevue. Call him at 615-485-1534. Again, 615-485-1534. Let's have a look at our question today, shall we?
Yes. For better or for worse.
College World Series Finals features Tennessee and Texas A&M, two SEC schools. The SEC has been a staple of the final recently. When was the last time a College World Series Finals did not feature an SEC school? Apparently, you get bonus points, too, if you can name the teams.
Kelly, it seems to me that Oregon State was in this thing fairly recently. And I think that if I'm going to guess, that's the one that has broken the SEC stranglehold.
Yeah, but it says when was the last time a College World Series final didn't feature an SEC school? And I thought the other day
feature an SEC.
Yeah, so we need two finalists that are.
Yeah, that weren't SEC, and I think it was like 15 years ago, was it not, George? I think somebody said that the other day. It's been.
Okay.
But I don't know the teams. I couldn't tell you.
I'm plucking one out of my rear end here. North Carolina and Oregon State.
2016, the Chanticleers.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Okay, a lot of different baseball going on. College World Series. Obviously, Major League Baseball. By the way, did anybody say it? Braves took 2 out of 3 against the hated Yankees. But the big story was Rickwood Field down in Birmingham last Thursday. A Nashvilleian was there for all 3 days of the celebration. Skip Nipper will join us to talk about it next.
On air and online, Sports Radio WNSR, Brentwood, Nashville.
ABC News, I'm Daria Aldinger. 3 days to their first debate. President Biden is at Camp David. He's hunkered down with aides doing mock debate practices. Former President Trump has had informal sessions with several advisors, but he continues to campaign and is telling supporters there's really no debate strategy. Reproductive rights could be a major focus of the debate. It was 2 years ago today that the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade.
This is a healthcare crisis, and we all know who was to blame. Donald Trump.
Vice President Harris on the campaign trail in Maryland. More than 60 million Americans are under heat alerts with triple-digit temperatures in some parts of the nation. A weekend of torrential rain has led to historic flooding in Iowa, with states of emergency declared in 22 counties. The governor of Minnesota activated the National Guard to help with rescues and the cleanup effort. This is ABC News.
The fireworks and celebrate Independence Day with the Omaha Steaks 4th of July sale. Save 50% off site-wide and fire up the perfect backyard cookout with tender steaks, juicy burgers, deli-style franks, and more family favorites. Shop today at omahasteaks.com and score an extra $30 off when you use promo code QUALITY at checkout. Plus, every purchase is backed by their unconditional money-back guarantee. Hurry, because this offer won't last long. That's omahasteaks.com, promo code QUALITY at checkout.
Omaha Steaks, America's original butcher.
Offer not valid in all states or where prohibited by law. Loans are subject to lender approval. See website for details.
Honey, the credit card bill came, and we're maxed out.
Maxed out cards, rent is due. We just need some extra cash to help us get by.
Maybe we should go to 27cash.com.
With our bad credit?
27cash.com is one of the largest personal loan networks. They can help people with any type of credit get up to $5,000, and cash can hit our bank account as soon as tomorrow.
When you need extra cash, go to 27cash.com. That's 27cash.com. 27cash.com.
Have you ever met a single person in your life that enjoys paying taxes? No one does. If you can't sleep at night because you have a huge problem with the IRS, I've got some free advice for you. This service is strictly limited to individuals that owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes. And if you qualify, we can guarantee that you won't be writing a big fat check to the IRS, or our services cost you nothing. The first 100 people that call today will get a free tax consultation worth $500. Stop worrying about your IRS problem. We can help you, we promise. Call the tax doctor right now. I mean right now, to learn more.
800-649-0142. 800-649-0142. 800-649-0142. That's 800-649-0142.
WNSR, Nashville Sports Radio. From the Nashville Sports Radio Media Complex. Welcome back to the George Plaster Show. Call George now at 615-844-5600 and online at WNSR.com. And now, George Plaster.
Featuring Tennessee Sports Hall of Famer Watson Brown, Tennessee Sports Hall of Famer Kelly Holcomb, along with Young Gun Billy Derrick. And now, here's your host, George Plaster.
5 o'clock hour on a Monday afternoon. We are 1 hour away from beginning the national title game in baseball. A&M, Tennessee. Kelly, what do you think the nerves are like? And is it any different because it's baseball and they play so many games?
No, you're nervous. You're nervous leading up to the game. You just wonder if you're prepared, if you're you're on national TV in the spotlight. Xander Seacrest, which we talked to the other day. I'm sure he's got some nerves, but it's just like playing football. You want to get the first throw out of the way. If you're a defender, you want to hit somebody. You just got to get going. And then after that, then everything slows down, and then hopefully you can get in the zone, get focused, and then you don't even. Like if you become really focused, you don't even know the crowd's there. You're just playing ball. Feels like you're playing when you were a kid in the backyard with your buddies. So it's, but everybody has nerves. But I always tell my kids that play ball. I'm like, everybody has the same nerves. The ones that are great know how to handle that and understand that, hey, I got to breathe through it. I'm still got to be in the moment. I got to be focused. So it's fun, but it's also, there's some tension there.
Yeah, we'll get into that a little bit more later. Kelly, as I mentioned earlier, my buddy Skip Nipper, I consider the foremost historian of Nashville baseball, going back to old Sulphur Dell stuff. The amount of research he has done is amazing. And a baseball lover, no doubt about it. He cared enough to volunteer for 3 days down at Rickwood Field in Birmingham, Alabama. And Skip joins us here at our broadcast site at the Ford Ice Center. Skip, how you doing?
Good, George. How are you? Thanks for having me.
No, thank you for doing this. Tell people just sort of, I don't know, off the cuff, what last week was like for you.
Well, electric is probably not strong enough a word. It was as exciting as anything I have ever been around. It matched when I was in Chicago for the Cubs World Series. I didn't get to go to the game, but I sat outside the stadium for 2 games, and this was very similar to that, but this was better. And a lot of it had to do with the honoring of the Negro Leagues players and the updates at Rickwood Field. It was all just amazing.
Skip, we're showing some of the pictures of that you sent me over the weekend of what the whole scene was like at Rickwood Field. In your mind, how much did it change because of Willie Mays' passing?
Well, it added another flavor to it, I think. Up until the time that he said he wasn't coming, a few days before the events, there was hope that he would be there, and then also that he would be there in attendance with Bill Greason, who he and Willie Mays were the last teammates still living of the 1948 Negro League World Series team, the Birmingham Black Barons. So when Willie Mays backed out, I just took for granted that Greason wasn't coming either, but he did, and he threw out the first pitch on Thursday night. Still, as exciting as it comes.
Am I right? 99 years old?
Mm-hmm. Still preaches every now and then. He was in Okinawa in the Marines, and he said if the good Lord would get him off of Okinawa alive, he would dedicate his life to the Lord, and he became a pastor, and he still is.
Wow, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Tell people what it looked like had been done with Rickwood Field. This was a 114-year-old facility that truthfully came very close to going the way of a wrecking ball, and yet the Friends of Rickwood stepped up to try to save it, probably never dreaming they'd have this kind of a national TV moment. Tell us what the stadium looked like, best as you could tell.
Well, if any ballpark was ever in disrepair, Rickwood Field was. There were holes in the grandstand under people's seats until they decided that the MLB was coming, and they had to make those renovations. Paint peeling off the walls, leaks in the pipes in the restrooms and overhead by the concession stands. The old dugouts, as they were kind of unique, as they were in 1910, but they were dated. And so MLB said, if we're going to come in there, we're going to make it up to MLB standards. They rebuilt the dugouts and made them MLB dugout length and comfort. A lot of people have said, I've seen on social media, well, Rickwood will never be the same. No, it won't be the same. Not as you remember it the old way, but it's better. And youngsters can go out there and play, and that's the best part about it. If MLB hadn't have come, I doubt that anything would have ever changed because it takes so much money to renovate and upgrade.
So I think I saw this in the telecast, and if I'm wrong, stop me. Dead center in the old park, 480?
Yeah. Yeah, and it's concrete wall out there, and they let some of the players go out there. And I think there's a marker from, oh, gee, I can't think of his name, that hit one up against that wall, I think 480 feet or something like that. It's just amazing. There have been 2 or 3 fences put up there. If it was a home run park, uh, and if it was too far out, they wanted more play, so they brought the fences in so that there could be some home runs. But it's just amazing. All that is left. The scoreboard is still there. The light standards are still there. They didn't use them. In fact, they took the lenses and the bulbs out of the old standards and put artificial lighting in there for the field because they didn't want a ball or anything to knock those lenses out and fall down on the fans there at the game.
So, Skip, before I turn it over to Kelly, help me with this because I think there were essentially 3 days of activities that you worked, the first being the minor league game. Kind of take people through the schedule of stuff.
Well, on Tuesday, in the years past, up until COVID, there was always a Rickwood Classic game, which was the Birmingham Barons would host one game a year there, and it would be a turn back the clock game. And this year they hosted the Montgomery Biscuits. Montgomery wore the Montgomery Gray Sox uniforms, and of course Birmingham wore the black Barons uniforms as a testament to the old Negro Leagues. And that game was usually the first Wednesday, I think, of June every year, about noon, and it would be really hot. I've been to just about all of those since about 2004 or 5. And so Wednesday, CC Sabathia, I think, was the one that hosted a celebrity softball game. And then, of course, the San Francisco Giants and St. Louis Cardinals played on Thursday night. What was said as the first Major League Baseball game played in Birmingham at Rookwood. I don't think that's right anymore since the Negro League stats have been incorporated into Major League stats. So that would mean the Birmingham Black Barons in some years would have been Major League now. So, but anyway, I won't quibble about that. It's good copy as it is today.
Kelly, I don't know if you've ever dealt with Skip Nipper, but just take my word, the guy knows his baseball.
He does, yeah. He's been on
Hi,
here
Kelly.
before. How you doing, buddy? Hey,
Hi, Kelly. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. So you said, it was one of the coolest things ever. What was the excitement with the fans? Like, how excited were they? I'm sure because I think Danny Evans has told us, like, when they had that deal out in Dyersburg, Iowa with the Field of Dreams, I mean, people were there 4 hours before the game.
Yeah.
What was the excitement with the fans before this game started?
Well, it was good. It was as exciting as I have ever seen at a ballpark outside of a major league stadium. Certainly, they opened the gates at 3:00. They came at 3:00, and the game was at 6:35, or I don't remember exactly. I think the minor league game was at 6:35. But anyway, they were clamoring about the outside of the grandstand. Everybody rushed to the inside so that they can take pictures. Everybody wanted to see what changes had been made. The old ballpark, they moved for the major league game. When they came in, they moved the home plate back 10 feet. There was a wide foul ground back there, and they moved the outfield fence out 10 feet, padded the walls for major league play, of course, and everybody wanted to see those things. It was just as exciting as I've ever seen. I think the thing that probably impressed everybody was when you get out there and you see what the upgrades are, you forget about the old ballpark. Not the old ballpark, but the old way of the old dugouts, and it was really a nice ballpark the way that they fixed it up with the seating of our clean seats, the way for fans to get in, ADA accessible. They did everything that they needed to do. It was well run, well organized. I worked for a company that was actually a staffing company for Major League Baseball, and I would have volunteered. I would have been there anyway if they'd have let me in, but they did. They are paying me for that. I ain't got the check yet, but anyway, it was just as exciting as anything I've ever been around. And when they announced Willie Mays' passing, everything went the opposite way. There was a stillness that came over the ballpark and extended out to where I was outside the grandstand. Everybody kind of stopped, almost like we're going to hear the Star Spangled Banner again. Everyone just stopped. And when the announcer made that announcement and they started playing this song, Say Hey, Here Comes Willie, I'm not sure that I got the title right.
Yeah.
They played all of that. And then everybody started going, Willie, Willie, Willie. And
Wow.
it didn't stop for a few minutes. It was just eerie, and it was exciting too.
What other things did they do for Willie Mays? And I know you said that he was scheduled to come. I don't know if anybody knew that he was probably as sick as he was, but what
No.
what other things did they do for Willie White? When he passed.
Well, all over the stadium were Willie Mays images, Negro Leagues images of players that maybe people haven't heard of. Certainly, Satchel Paige's image. You see a picture there of Bill Greason on the right and Willie Mays on the left. And I'll tell you that everything was about Willie after they found out that Willie had passed. The exciting thing that I got to do, and I had to move around. I mean, a lot of times I was just pointing to where the restrooms were, helping people know where to go. And we also kind of divided out the crowd so that the Negro Leaguers could come through when they began to honor them. But I got to be near Willie Mays Hall of Fame plaque and help people set up for photographs. I did that for about 2 hours on Wednesday and then Thursday for 3 or 4 hours. In fact, the lady that was in charge of this for Major League Baseball asked me if I wanted to take a break, and I didn't have to go get my box lunch in the events tent. I got to go to the VIP tent and have a buffet. But anyway, which was not the high point. The high point was being around Willie Mays plaque. That was eerie also, and a real blessing to me to be that close to that plaque.
Skip, what did they have going on outside of the stadium? Is it kind of like the Super Bowl where all this fan experience is? Did they have the kids doing things, or what did they have outside the stadium?
Not so much of that I saw. They had a lot of food booths, of course. There was Louisville Slugger had a booth there and some other creative things, but I don't think so much because that outside the grandstand in that outside concourse, there's not a whole lot of room. They had more. Like they had 3 giant baseballs with sayings on them, one from Satchel Paige, for example, where people could come up and have their pictures taken in the social media age we are in. Having your photograph made and posted online is pretty much what people wanted to do.
So this last question I've got, and I don't know how to really ask this, but with this modern age of sports, and we just got off off the phone with Watson Brown and college sports and all that, and all the big tech and the big businesses and the money taking all this stuff over. How sad is it to see places like you just went to, and they just had a major league game there, and it was the old Negro League, and so many good players played there, but you think of young kids, they're not going to know anything about that, and that seems sad to me. How sad is that to you?
Well, it's a tragedy, really. We lost Sulphur Dell here in 1969. There was no concept about saving it, even though they could have torn that hill down. That was notorious for Sulphur Dell and played ball games there. Of course, we have the new baseball park for the Sounds there, but it's not quite the same. The flavor is not there. But we also tore Herschel Greer Stadium down, and there are lots of things that could be done to that. It's about youth playing baseball or any kind of sport. Thank goodness that the people that formed the Friends of Rickwood to keep that going and keep it going without any idea that Major League Baseball would play a game there. But when they came, and in fact, I heard from one of them that said Major League Baseball told them, we fixed it up. We put the screens all the way down the first and third baseline. We've manicured the field. We got it level. We got the outfield fence just like we want it with a warning track. It's up to you now to keep it or we'll never come back. And I think they will. They probably raised enough money to keep that thing going for some time. But now youth can play on that thing in a major league quality ballpark, and that means everything.
That is very cool. Skip, I gather that if they asked, you'd do this again, wouldn't you?
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'd go back to Birmingham tomorrow. I get to go to Birmingham twice a year. I usually go down. They have a Southern Association conference, which is a remembrance of the old Southern Association, which the Nashville Vols, the Memphis Chicks were in, so forth. And they have that every year. Actually, this year they had it in Montgomery because they didn't want to interfere. But there'll be another one in the fall. If you've never been to Rickwood, anytime you go through Birmingham, you got to go to Rickwood. There's another thing that you need to see. The Negro Southern League Museum outside of left field at the new baseball park for the Barons downtown, and the Birmingham Civil Rights Museum. That's 3 events that you can see in a day that will be well worth your trip. I would encourage you to do it. And Rickwood is outstanding.
Skip, in about 3 weeks, that's exactly what I'm going to do. I've never
Awesome.
seen Rickwood.
Yeah.
I've heard a lot about it over the years. There it
Right.
is from
Right.
an aerial shot.
Mhm.
Thank you for taking the time to come on here and talk about it.
Kelly and George, thank you for having me anytime.
Skip, see you Friday.
Thank you. Good.
Skip Nipper, good friend, and in my opinion, as good a historian of Nashville baseball history as any human being out there. He really is. I know we're going to go to the break. Then we're going to do a couple of things. We're going to talk the Tennessee-Texas A&M title game, 40 minutes away, winner take all. Pretty dramatic. I want your opinions. I want you to call in. Last week, y'all were a little slow to the trigger. I want to get it hopping early. 615-844-5600. That is our number. I'm looking for three red-blooded Americans who have some sports they want to talk. Hit the phones now. You're listening to the George Plaster Show on 95.9 FM.
It was the most horrible experience that any mother could ever go through. I knew that I needed to get help. My friend, she immediately said, "You need to call Bart Durham." And you guys were there within an hour. You guys are like family for us.
Yeah, sure is nice to connect with the people that you're doing your best to help.
Nashville, get ready for the greatest show on turf. Electrifying, high-octane, non-stop spring football action. Starting at only $30. Don't miss the season opener this April 27th at Municipal Auditorium.
Hi, I'm Jeff Fisher. The Nashville Cats are bringing arena football back to Nashville.
Grab your tickets now at thenashvillecats.com and be part of the action.
Year number 2 of the Plaster and Friends Celebrity Bowling Night was awesome. And the reason is really simple. I chose Strike and Spare, and they were amazing. They have great food, great bowling, and a staff that is truly ready to go the extra mile to help you. They have 5 family fun centers in the area to choose from. And for more info, go to strikeandspare.com or call them at 615-824-5688. Venture Express has been helping people in this area for more than 40 years. They're headquartered in Murfreesboro with over 30 years of dedicated fleets involving production, manufacturing, and corrugated experiences. They're an asset-based company with over 700 tractors, 4,000 trailers, and 800 drivers. If you need their help, dial them up, 615-793-9500, or log on to ventureexpress.com.
As the trusted premier custom home builder in Middle Tennessee, Donnelly Timmons has over 20 years of experience in the industry. Whether you're looking to build your dream home or renovate your current home, their team will ensure that every client and every remodel is unique, luxurious, and completed on time within budget. Founders Dustin Timmons and Joey Donnelly have over 25 years of construction experience in the Nashville area. Together, they have completed projects in Forest Hills, Oak Hill, Green Hills, Franklin, and Brentwood. Dustin and Joey believe that communication is the most important aspect of all construction projects. Therefore, they personally manage each project themselves and are involved in job site activities on a daily basis. Their commitment to quality and integrity has earned them an outstanding reputation among their clients. Contact them to set an appointment for a free consultation or to view some of their completed projects. Give them a call at 615-456-7983 or log on to DonnellyTimmons.com.
Required to improve their quality of life, improve your immune system, energy level, cognitive function, and more. There's no better time to achieve a healthy lifestyle. What are you waiting for? Give Cool Springs MD a call today for an appointment at 615-486-3458 or visit the website coolspringsmd.com. We are back from the Ford Ice Center. What is it? 36 minutes away from a title game on the NCAA baseball front, Tennessee and Texas A&M. We've also got a Game 7 tonight in the NHL. And with no NBA as competition, my guess is the NHL will have a really good rating number for their 7th and deciding game. Let's go to the phones. Let's start in Murfreesboro. Jeff, listening on 107.9. Welcome. Hello, Jeff. Are you there?
Hello, you there, George?
Yeah, go ahead.
I just want to say that it'll be pretty big ratings in Canada. They hadn't won a cup in over 30 years, so I think they'll be watching a lot. So I don't know if a lot of other people in Florida down there, they'll be trying to avoid being the second team to lose 4 in a row. I don't know if they will or not, but it should be a pretty fun night. But George, I want to ask you, how many times do you think we'll go to the monitor? Not you have an over/under on that?
Oh gosh.
I mean, any times we'll go 4 or 5, or because there was two on Saturday. There was no needed to, but we've got to look anyway.
You know, you're raising one of the big issues. We both, I think, agree this is a really fun tournament, but these games are too long, and
they're not too long as far as pitch. I don't mind the replays. It's just, George, when it's clear that the guy's out and you're still looking at it. That's the problem. Every close play has got every one of them. And when, like the guy at first base at A&M, he touched that bag. The guy was out clearly, and we still have to look at it. We still got to go to the monitor. That's my problem.
So
it's
tell me,
out, and like Texas A&M, if I'm Texas A&M's coach, I'm not challenging a call in the first inning. You only get 2. I'm not doing it in the very first inning. I don't care what the call is, as far as that's concerned. But you know that's just, like I said. I know I'm in the minority on stopping replay. I know I am. Okay, I'm serious. Period. Okay, I don't care how hard they work. Okay, it's like when umpire says strike 1, strike 2, strike 3. When he looks at strike 3, you ain't working too hard, are you? You're going back, taking that bat and sitting down. So the least you need to do is swing the bat and put it in play. Don't be looking at it. Okay? I mean, it's as simple as that. But which I did want to ask you, did you see the ACC, SEC challenge games this year, basketball?
Yeah, I did. Now, I can't say I've got them in front of me. If there's one in particular you want to get into.
Well, there's 3 I was going to tell you. Alabama is playing at North Carolina. Auburn's playing at Duke. Kentucky's playing at Clemson. I know Tennessee's playing at Syracuse. I don't know where. Those are the 4. I don't know. Vanderbilt's playing in it too. I'm just not sure where they're playing at.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not sure where those are the. If you got Alabama, North Carolina, I know Carolina fans definitely want a piece of Bama after what happened last year. But I just want to ask you about that. And Jordan, like I said, I know I'm in the minority about getting rid of it. People love replay, but let's go back and play the '85 World Series Game 6 over. See, we didn't care about replay back then, but we care about it now. I wonder why. So I'll get off and hang up and listen to your comments. Thank you.
Okay. Now, my guess, Kelly, is that the St. Louis Cardinal fans who got screwed out of a world title do care.
Now,
because
George,
that cost them a world title in '85.
You know, George, I'm having trouble hearing Jeff, so I don't know what he's talking about at this point. I can't tell you.
Okay. He brought up the instant replay thing, and I don't know why we're having that problem. Hopefully it won't continue, but we'll work on it. His feeling is that there are too many replays, and in particular, some replays that need quicker answers. Where you and I agree with him on that.
I agree with that, absolutely. But those 2 that Tennessee had with the first baseman, Blake Burke, the other day, I was like, I can't believe that, but he got both of them right. You know, he threw up his hand and said he got them, and he got both of them right. So that was huge for the Vols because those are kind of momentum killers for Texas A&M, and they were huge plays for the Vols in the field.
Let me ask you this, because we've gotten Major League Baseball games down to about 2 hours and 35 minutes with the changes that have been made. College baseball isn't winning that battle at all. There are too many 3 hour and 45-minute games. You've watched some of them. What would you do to get it moving?
I don't know. I mean, I think they got to take, all these colleges take, things that the NFL's done or Major League Baseball has done or the NBA's done and implemented them in what they're doing. I just think that, they got a pitch clock, but there's, you and Billy Derrick were talking about it the other day. I mean, there's too many throws over to first. Like, I get that. But, like, Major League Baseball has done a good job about, you only get 2 throws over there. So, with the batter. So, maybe implementing something like that. I'm just not sure. But, like, these guys get out and, it's kind of like the old Major League deal where they, they re-grip their gloves and they do this and they pick up some dirt. Like, get in there and let's hit, man. Let's go. Just let's quit doing all that stuff. Let's hurry this thing up. I mean, yeah, I think Major League Baseball has done a really good job because somebody that's, I don't have ADD, but I have an attention problem. And when you're going 4 hours for me, I'm not watching that, man. I just can't do it.
Friend of mine says he had to bring up 1985. I'm still pissed about that travesty. Well, for those who don't know, 85 was the I-70 World Series. Cardinals, Kansas City Royals. Kelly, I got to go to Game 5 where the Cardinals at home thought they were going to celebrate a world title. Well, didn't work out that way. Kansas City beat them that night. Then they moved the series back to KC. Cardinals are leading in the bottom of the 9th, and an umpire, Don Dinkinger, blew a call that ultimately allowed KC to pull out Game 6, win Game 7 11-0. It's the game where Brett Saberhagen pitched great and Joaquin Andujar lost his head. And anyway, that's one where replay. Oh my God, you think?
Some hard feelings going on still to this day in 2024.
Yeah. So I do think I love the NCAA baseball tournament. I've watched a ton of it, but they got to get it moving. It's too slow.
I totally agree with that. It's way too slow. You got guys, like I said, you got guys doing they get out of the box and they say, I don't know what they do, but you got to, for a guy like me who struggles with baseball anyway, sometimes when it's going 4 hours, that's too long for me and it cannot hold my attention, which is not hard.
What would you guys say to maybe taking some juice out of the bats? I feel like that's been part of the problem. The home run rate this year has been off the chains. Do you think that's anything they could do to try and, slow down the game a little bit if some of these balls aren't juiced to the wall and they're just popping up in the air instead?
Well, but let me ask you this. I get when they're on the home campuses. Most of those ballparks are smaller. That thing in Knoxville is a home run parade. But this place is hard to get a ball out of. So all I'm asking is, is it bats? Because to me, the home run totals in the College World Series have been halfway fair.
They did that years ago, George, where they took all the sting out of the bat and there was nobody hitting home runs. I think it was still in Rosenblatt. And, I think that's part of the game. You want to have some home runs. It's offensive. Everybody wants offensive. It's like the NFL right now. Everybody wants offense. So I don't know if that's the case. But, I think they're doing something with the balls now, making it fly a little bit differently. So I think people enjoy that. I don't know if that would help.
Let's go. Where are we going? Let's go. Tony in Nolensville. Tony, welcome.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. Kelly and the young guy that's filling in for Billy over there.
Billy, too.
Doing a great job.
Appreciate it.
One thing they could do is not give them so much armor to go to the bat with. I've never in my life seen as much elbow pad, wrist pad, foot pad, shin guard. I mean, my gosh, Kelly, they might as well go play some football in a baseball stadium. They got more armor on than a football player. But that was just a small little take here. Guys, George is still there with me.
Yeah, that kind of started with Barry Bonds years ago, where he had all the elbow pads, and now everybody's got them.
Everybody's got it. Guys, I'm going to go down a little different avenue here. I read 2 interesting articles this week. Y'all might have touched on this the past week or so. The articles I read were, I think they come out earlier in June, but I find it disturbing. And number one is, George, your All-American hero, Commissioner Sankey. He is wanting to extend now, wanting people to start thinking about changing up March Madness and adding more teams to it, as possibly to climb it up to possibly 80. And, of course, it's all because he wants more teams in there, and the SEC and everybody. And I read an article on that where he thinks where the conferences are expanding, that there should be more spots to open up and to expand the basketball March Madness.
And
then the second article that I read, let me get these out there, then y'all discuss them. The second article that I read was that the Big Ten is looking at possibly, because of the conferences getting as large as they are, looking for sponsorships for the conference. And a particular interested party is Allstate Insurance, thinking about sponsoring the Big Ten if this starts happening.
Yeah.
So I was going to get y'all's take on that and see what y'all had to say about it and where you went down the road with it. So I'm going to hang up. I'm going to listen to you. Thanks, guys.
Good talking to you. So, Kelly, you want to start with the second one?
Well, once again, George, I had a little bit of trouble. I could hear bits and pieces. He said something about the Big Ten. What was he talking about?
The fact that they're going to sponsorships, I guess almost naming rights, like the All-State Big Ten. You're in good hands or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about money. We talked about that. So if they can see money and they can, with all this NIL stuff, I guess that's what. I guess that's where everything going. It's at some point, George, and I asked Watson about this. At some point, schools are going to have to buck up and get involved with this. They're not going to be able to go to the same sponsors. So if they can go out and get say at UT, get like a big sponsor to do something with sponsorship money and all the NIL, and they can put their name on that, because that's what everybody wants. They want to get their name on it to say, hey, I'm a big time donor in Tennessee. All you got to do is look and you see my name up here. We're giving all this money. That's what people want.
The other one involved the fact that Sankey is pushing to expand the NCAA tournament. In fairness to him, and I'm not his biggest fan, but he's getting a lot of this heat from the coaches, because what's going on is they equate a bowl bid, a bowl appearance. 80 out of 130 Division I teams go to bowl games, which is nuts, but that's the number. And so the basketball coaches are saying, why don't we have a similar percentage? Let's ramp up. And the thing is, Kelly, I think the NCAA tournament in basketball is so good that even they can't screw it up.
I'm with you. I do too. I think but once again, I just said it all boils down to money. I mean, that's where it comes from. And I guess they got it right, because I think there's way too many bowl games. All you have to do is be 6-6 and you qualify for a bowl game, and you're probably going. And then a lot of these coaches have have all these benefits. They get more money. They get a year added onto their contract. So, that's a big incentive for them. And I can understand what the college basketball coaches are talking about. That's a gripe for them. I get it.
Yeah. Okay, we'll take some more of your phone calls after the break. Kelly, we'll try to figure out what's going on your end. I know you're having some difficulty. 615-844-5600 is the number. So jump in on the lines. I think we've still got a couple that are open. You're listening to 95.9 FM, and this is the George Plaster Show. As you might be able to tell, my buddy Stan Harrison, he's an Alabama Crimson Tide fan, but he's actually here to talk about Apple Collision Centers.
Hello, Middle Tennessee. I'm Stan Harrison, CEO of Apple Collision Centers, and we understand the stress it causes in having an automobile accident. We can help you ease the stress of the auto body repair process at our 3 locations. We're conveniently located in Old Hickory, Hendersonville, and Gallatin. We've got rental cars available, we have PDR technicians available, and we have windshield technicians available. Please stop by one of our places and see us if you need our services.
And by the way, when you come in his office, this just in, he's a sports fan.
You were in a crash.
Yeah.
Your kids were in the car with you.
We're very lucky to even be telling this story to you. Nikki treated us like family, and she was very caring and loving, and I'm just so grateful for that. She was somebody I could trust, and being a veteran, that's so important to me. My kids are going to have a better life now because I don't have to worry about those expenses that we were out. Your family has really created a legacy of trust, and I would recommend you to anyone.
Nashville Sounds Baseball is back in Hit City for the 2024 season. Spend your nights and weekends at the ballpark with weekly giveaways, fireworks shows, throwback deals, live music, and more. Top talent will take the field at First Horizon Park against the AAA Minnesota Twins, Baltimore Orioles, Atlanta Braves, St. Louis Cardinals, Cincinnati Reds, and more. Tickets start at just $10 and are available now at NashvilleSounds.com. We will see you in Hit City.
For over 35 years, Wilson Bank & Trust has been committed to providing customized banking solutions to help individuals, families, and businesses in Tennessee achieve their goals. As your full-service community bank, we are proud to offer loans with competitive rates, local decision-making, and fast, friendly service from our experienced lenders. No matter where you are on your financial journey, Wilson Bank & Trust is ready to help you take the next step. Visit your nearest Wilson Bank & Trust office or online at wilsonbank.com to get started today. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Over the years, more men have started to seek help for hormone deficiencies and imbalances.
Like it.
And Dr. Jeffrey Lodge and wife Daphne, along with their experienced staff, give men the treatment required to improve their quality of life, improve your immune system, energy level, cognitive function, and more. There's no better time to achieve a healthy lifestyle. What are you waiting for? Give Cool Springs MD a call today for an appointment at 615-486-3458 or visit the website coolspringsmd.com. With over 700 tractors, 4,000 trailers, and 800 drivers. If you need their help, dial them up 615-793-9500 or log on to ventureexpress.com.
You enjoy the thrill of gambling, but what happens when it becomes a problem? Whether you want to cut back or quit gambling altogether, the Gambling Clinic has been helping people change their gambling for over 2 decades. We're here to help, not to judge. The Gambling Clinic is a Tennessee-based clinic offering in-person and telehealth support to help people win back their life. Visit us at thegamblingclinic.com. This project is funded by the Tennessee Department of Mental Health and Substance Abuse Services.
Here's Stan Harrison for Apple Collision Centers.
Hello, George. We at Apple Collision Centers understand the stress that auto body repair process can put in your day-to-day lives. We at Apple Collision Centers, we have 3 convenient locations, Old Hickory, Hendersonville, and Gallatin, ready to serve you. You can stop by and get an estimate, or you can get one online at www.applecollisioncenters.com.
Okay, We are back, and we're going to head back to the phones. We're going to start in College Grove, Tennessee. Carl, welcome in.
Thank you, George. Let's talk a little bit about the Live Golf Tournament.
Did you go to it?
And I did go. It was an interesting product, totally different from the traditional golf purist. So if that's what you're expecting when you go out there, then you're going to be in a little bit of trouble. But it was a young crowd. It was a big crowd. It was 120 degrees out there, and but it's a good product if you go out there and know what you're getting. You pretty much get what you expect. It's more about the fan experience than it is about the golf.
When you say,
but it's a good one.
Yeah, when you say young audience, are you saying 75% young, 25% older? What are you saying exactly?
Yeah, it's probably 70-30 and under 35, but it's just I think they had some issues in the initial planning that they probably didn't expect that many people. There were some issues with food and beverage and that sort of stuff and lines, but the golf product is darn good. The names out there and the people and the players out there, it's quite the lineup, and it's really impressive to see those guys in person. You got DeChambeau out there knocking the fool out of it and people following him and some of these guys. But, the winner gets $4 million, plays 54 holes. It's just a totally different product from what a purist would get.
Would you go back?
Yeah, I'd go back. I would do it differently. You spend a couple $100 for, the hospitality. And, I had some people that I was with that did go to the hospitality. I was just a walk along and look kind of person, general admission kind of person. But, Greg Norman's up there in the hospitality handing out hats. He's up there signing and taking pictures, and then he's up there on the 15th green, tending the pin for people. So it's more about the experience than really anything else.
Okay, that's interesting. Kelly, you're there. You got a comment, question?
Yeah, Carl, I just want to ask you, man, because I'm a purist, I'm a traditionalist. I try. Yeah. I cut it on the TV. I heard all the music. I see them playing in shorts. I see them with their shirts out. That just doesn't feel professional to me. That feels like me and my buddies going out, playing a golf game. So, what are your thoughts on that? I mean, because I've already expressed. I mean, I think some things need to be changed in the PGA Tour, but like this kind of goes a little bit overboard for me. It's just like guys going out there playing, because it didn't look like Dustin Johnson he didn't care to be there. I mean, no. I don't know. It's hard for me to watch that when you got guys in shorts and their shirts are untucked and all that. It doesn't look professional to me.
No, it's very much Saturday afternoon at the country club golf course kind of playing. It is very casual, and but they're casual too, but they're interacting with the fans, and that's part of the experience too that you really don't see a lot of on the PGA Tour. But I agree with you entirely. It's such a different product, and if you're a purist, kind of like I am, you have a hard time with it, and I'll always struggle with it. But like I say, I would go back once or twice in a different type of experience out there. But it's a hard pill to swallow if you're an Augusta person or you're a U.S. Open person or you're a major person. But it still has I think it still has its place. But everything has changed so much since the Waste Management Open in that 16th hole, and I think that just is really driving a lot of this stuff and this younger crowd, and how loud can you get and how much noise can you make and how much of an experience can you make it, and that's probably the objective of what they're trying to do.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Good stuff, Carl. So, thank you for sharing it.
You bet. Thank you, George.
Kelly, did you have any friends go to it?
I did have a friend go to it. He exact same sentiments as I had. He didn't stay long. He's like, I went. He's like, the music was just, there was one hole that it was music all the way down. It was like a concert, and he was like, it just didn't do it for me, man. But I mean, hey, Carl said it, like, you know, when you go to the Phoenix Open, you know, with the Waste Management deal out there, he's right. That's where things are going. That's why golf is so popular right now. And I think COVID got, you know, because people could go out on a golf course and play, and they figured out that they could work from home. And I think there's more leniency with that now, and you get more people golfing because you go on Saturdays and Sundays, man, it's crazy.
Ooh,
I
tell
don't
me
even
about
like
it.
playing. Yeah, I don't even like playing on weekends. But he's right. I mean, it's you know, it's going to a newer, younger crowd, and that's, you know, that's what they're doing.
Jeff in Nashville, you are up next.
Well, first of all, George, I'll tell you that the play I would want instant replay on is Armando Galarraga's perfect game ruined by courtesy of Jim Joyce. I think that's one that a lot of baseball fans and especially Tigers fans would want back.
And, you know, Tigers had been better. You'd have heard more about that one.
Exactly. Well, my question goes down to Atlanta, to a baseball team you may or may not be able to watch on Comcast. The lineup this week, I saw that Snitker decided to start Laureano in the outfield, you know, newly acquired, over Adam Duvall. And it starts to feel to me like it's the same movie all over again. With Adam Duvall, he should have a spot in the lineup. You know, first as Inciarte goes out and he's in, but instead they go with somebody else. And at some point, if you're Adam Duvall, do you think, I'm tired of this, I'm a quality MLB outfielder and I deserve a spot in the starting lineup?
Well, there's a belief, and I think you're going to see the Braves go this way, where it will be a platoon. Duvall against right-handers has really struggled. He kills lefties. And that's really what's going on. Is I think they have basically turned this into a platoon. Laureano, by the way, is a former Sound who ended up in Oakland, had some decent numbers there. Wouldn't see the light of day in Atlanta if it weren't for Michael Harris's injury. But some of this is also them saying that until Adam Duvall starts hitting right-handers better, this is the way it's going to be.
Well, the Braves have kind of turned into a Sounds powerhouse. You know, Matt Olson, Sean Murphy, Laureano. All you need is Max Muncy and Matt Chapman, and you've got the whole crew back together. Joey Wendell just got signed as well. So
Joey Wendell got waived 3 days after he signed. That one's history.
Well, then I missed that part.
Yeah. Hey, thank you for the call.
Of course. Y'all have a good rest of the show.
You too.
Thanks, brother.
Okay, Kelly, who wins tonight?
George, I'm going to go against you, man. I think Texas A&M wins it.
Do you really?
I do. I don't know why, man. They're just resilient, man.
It's a good baseball team.
They are a really good baseball team, and they've gotten hot at the right time. Now, you may be right. They may be out of pitching. I don't know. But we said that last year about LSU, and LSU came through. Of course, they had Paul Skeens, but then after that, it was a bunch of guys, and those bunch of guys end up pitching really well. So
they will need a bunch of guys tonight. This is going to be, for them to win, it's going to be a struggle.
Yeah, I just think, man, I think Texas A&M wins it, man. But I don't know. I hope for the people in Tennessee that the Vols can come through. Of course, you know how I feel about Tennessee sometimes. But hey, you know they got a really good baseball team, and I've enjoyed watching them play because they've got ball players, and they're resilient too. They're gritty as all get out, and you know I hope they bring one in for the Volunteer State. But last night, I still think if the Cortez guy made it through and he could have pitched, I think they won the national championship last night.
I'm going to make you some money after the break. In theory.
We'll see.
Yeah, sure we will.
We'll see.
Stay tuned. You're listening to The George Plaster Show.
You were in a crash.
Yeah.
Your kids were in the car with you.
We're very lucky to even be telling this story to you. Nikki treated us like family. And she was very caring and loving, and I'm just so grateful for that. She was somebody I could trust, and being a veteran, that's so important to me. My kids are going to have a better life now because I don't have to worry about those expenses that we were out. Your family has really created a legacy of trust, and I would recommend you to anyone.
As the trusted premier custom home builder in Middle Tennessee, Donnelly Timmons has over 20 years of experience in the industry. Whether you're looking to build your dream home or renovate your current home, their team will ensure that every client and every remodel is unique, luxurious, and completed on time within budget. Founders Dustin Timmons and Joey Donnelly have over 25 years of construction experience in the Nashville area. Together, they have completed projects in Forest Hills, Oak Hill, Green Hills, Franklin, and Brentwood. Dustin and Joey believe that communication is the most important aspect of all construction projects. Therefore, they personally manage each project themselves and are involved in job site activities on a daily basis. Their commitment to quality and integrity has earned them an outstanding reputation among their clients. Contact them to set an appointment for a free consultation or to view some of their completed projects. Give them a call at 615-456-7983 or log on to DonnellyTimmons.com.
There's something that binds us all. The constant hunger to improve. The obsession with every detail. And the reward of a custom fitting taking your game to a whole new level. We're all bound by two words said by golfers worldwide. Schedule your fitting at Edwin Watts Golf Shops. Find your local store at worldwidegolf.com. Get there.
For over 35 years, Wilson Bank & Trust has been committed to providing customized banking solutions to help individuals, families, and businesses in Tennessee achieve their goals. As your full-service community bank, we are proud to offer loans with competitive rates, local decision-making, and fast, friendly service from our experienced lenders. No matter where you are on your financial journey, Wilson Bank & Trust is ready to help you take the next step. Visit your nearest Wilson Bank & Trust office or online at wilsonbank.com to get started today. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Venture Express has been helping people in this area for more than 40 years. They're headquartered in Murfreesboro with over 30 years of dedicated fleets involving production, manufacturing, and corrugated experiences. They're an asset-based company with over 700 tractors, 4,000 trailers, and 800 drivers. If you need their help, dial them up 615-793-9500 or log on to ventureexpress.com.
And now, Kingdom Doors is proudly saluting the brave men and women in blue who work tirelessly to protect and serve our communities, especially our police and sheriffs. This message is brought to you by Kingdom Doors. For custom garage door installations, service, and repairs, give the pros a call today at 615-810-6415, 615-810-6415, or visit kingdom-doors.com. That's Kingdom Doors. They're professionals who care.
Here's Stan Harrison for Apple Collision Centers.
Hello, George. We at Apple Collision Centers understand the stress that auto body repair process can put in your day-to-day lives. We at Apple Collision Centers, we have 3 convenient locations, Old Hickory, Hendersonville, and Gallatin, ready to serve you. You can stop by and get an estimate, or you can get one online at www.applecollisioncenters.com.
Bet of the day brought to you by Bart Durham Injury Law. Give them a call, 615-242-9000, or log on to bartdurham.com. George, what do you have for us tonight?
Oh, yeah. So I just checked it a minute ago. Tennessee is a 220 favorite, which means if you bet $100 on Tennessee and they win, you get $100. But if they lose, you lose 220. So the other way to do it, which is the way I'm putting out there, is to take Tennessee minus a 1.5 and only lay 140. Now, my belief is that A&M is out of quality pitching. And we'll probably know early whether I'm right or wrong. But if they're having to shuffle a bunch of guys that can't get people out, Tennessee will wear them out. If it's close after 5 innings, look out. This might be really hairy. Tennessee's got to get off to a good start and put all that doubt in A&M's head. As for the NHL game, Game 7, the team that scores first is going to win this. And I believe Florida is the team that will score first, and they will somehow overcome this drought that they've been in, and they will be your Stanley Cup champion. Kelly, tomorrow is Super Tuesday on the show. Okay. Tony Basilio at 4:20, win, lose, or draw for Tennessee. And then Ole Miss basketball coach Chris Beard at 5 p.m.
Nice. Looking forward.
See you then. All of you, behave until then. So long.